Okay, so today we are going to learn about methods. So right now, you guys have seen, right, uh, attributes, right, and behavior of a class. So we have learned something about attributes like uh, instance variable, static variable, local variable, right? And also we have learned about uh, constructors, right? So now you have seen like in some of the examples, right? I have used a display method and all. So today we are going to learn about all about methods. Okay. So basically, what is method? How to define a method? Okay. So and what is it? What and all are types of method? How to call those methods? Where to define it? How to call it? Everything. Okay. What name should we give to method? How to give a name to a method? Kind of all these details we are going to learn. Okay. So before starting the method, so method, we can call it method, we can call it functions, we can call it behavior. Okay. So method, function, behavior, right? And operations, right? So what and all? So one is method, another name is operation, another name is behavior. So if anywhere, if someone say, can you define a behavior to this class, or can you add two behavior to this class? So just assume that they are talking about methods. Okay. Functionality. Also we can call that, okay, we call it function. Okay. So method, operation, behavior, function. Okay. So it's like, so to method, right? We call it operation, we call it behavior, we call it function, everything. Okay. So now, if someone, what is method? So what does method do? So let's assume if you have a method print. So what it will do? From name itself, you come to know that it will print something, right? If you name a method called sum, from name itself, you know that this method perform addition kind of thing. Okay. So it's not like if you give a name sum, then it will only perform sum. You can give XYZ name and it will do XYZ thing. Okay, totally not related to the name, but always give a logical name. So let assume if you are writing a logic and logic is going to perform, let assume your logic is going to perform, or your logic is going to check the number is prime or not. So you have to give is prime. Okay, like that. The naming always be logical. Okay, clear? Okay. In the similar way, if someone asks you, okay, this is fine, the naming is fine, but what is the syntax? Okay, how the method look? Okay, let's take an example of public static void main, right? String args, right? This is our main method, right? Public static void main. This is main. M stand for main. So what is this? What is public? So public is modifier. Okay. Then what is next? What is static? Static is a keyword. It defines static or not. Void. Okay. This is static is a keyword. It's used to define the method is static or not. What is void? So void is return type. So modifier, return type. What is main? Main is a method name. Okay. Then what is this? This is called params. What we call params or parameter. Okay. And then we used to have this start curly braces and end curly braces. What we used to have inside this? Implementation. Okay. And this whole we call method definition. What we call it? Method definition. Okay. Okay. Now take example. Let assume I have to create a method called display. Okay. Okay. So what I said, first we need to think about modifier. So there are certain modifiers we talk about. Okay. Now just we are using public in main, so we'll use here public. Okay. and its display. Okay, so basically what it will print. So it will not return anything. So in the place of return type, what we'll keep here? Void, because it's not returning anything. If any method which not return anything to JVM, we annotate it, or we use a void, okay, before that method name, and then method name. So what is the method name? Display. Okay, I'm not passing any parameter. There is no parameter. There is no param. So we can keep it blank. Curly braces started, curly braces end. Okay. Now this method will display. Okay, what it will do? It will display my name, system.out.println Abhinav. Okay. Okay. So now this method is not returning anything. Okay. Let me define a method which have a different return type. So let's assume I'm going to define a method which take two numbers and it will return the sum of those numbers. Okay. So I will declare a method called, first I will define, first what we used to define, modifier, public. Okay. And then what is the return type? Int. It will return sum, right? So it's int. What is the method name? Add. What it take? It take two param. One is int a, another one is int b, right? So now we have two parameters. Okay, now we have defined a inside we define a local variable int c from a plus b, right? And then what is the return type? Int. So we return 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 c. Okay. So now you guys pretty acquainted with the syntax. So syntax of method declaration, or you can say that a definition is modifier, return type, method name. Okay. And then this parenthesis start and then params. Okay. Then curly braces start and curly braces end. Okay. So now you guys know that what is modifier, a basic modifier, public modifier. Now return type. Return type can be any data type along with void. So it will, the method can return int, short, byte, long along with void. It's mean if it's not returning anything, what is supposed to mention? You're supposed to mention void. Okay. Whatever inside this start curly braces and end curly braces, we call it implementation. Clear to you all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now there are two types of method we have. How many types of variable is static variable and instance variable, right? You guys remember, right? Similarly, we are having two types of method on the base of declaration. Okay. So there are types of method. The first one is instance method. The second one is static method. The instance method and static method. Okay. So let me first go with the instance method. Okay. So what is instance method? So I will define a class and then we'll declare a instance method and static method. You guys have to tell me. I will declare a two method. You have to tell me which one is instance and which one is static. Okay. Let us have a class called student start. Okay. So now I will declare a method called void m1. Okay. So start and then I will declare static void m2. Now, if I ask you which one is instance and which one is static here?
And one is instance. First one is the
void
instant, the
M1.
second one is the static one.
Yeah.
The first one is instance. The second one is static. Clear? So now you guys know that, one second, let me admit him. So you guys know that based on declaration, like when you directly declare a method inside a class, it's known as instance method. If you use static keyword, it's known as static method. Okay. Now we know that we can have params and logic and all. So what is the basic thing that we have to know that now we have a student. Now we have two void m1 and static void. So how to call this method? Let's assume if I want to execute this method m1 or method m2, how to call it, right? Okay. So now we'll see how to call it. So what is the class name we have? We have a class name a student. Okay. So let me create an object of a student class. A student obj new student. So what is this? This is a special method which we call it constructor, right? Which we can invoke with the help of new keyword, right? So what it will do, it will create an object. It will initialize the object with the default value. Because we are using default constructor. Our object is obj is get created. Okay, now I have two method m1 which is instance, m2 which is static. Okay, now can I do obj dot, okay, m1? Can I call m1 with object reference? Yes, you can call m1 with object reference. Why? Because it's an instance variable and instance variable can call with the object reference. Okay. Can I call m2 with the object reference? Any one of you? Any guess?
I think
Yeah,
no. For static, you
because this
cannot
is a
use the
static
object.
now.
So you guys are saying a static you can. Okay, but you guys have to remember one thing. A static method, okay, a static method, we can call it by object reference. Clear to you all? A static method we can call by object reference, null reference, and class name. Clear to you all?
Yes,
Static
we are.
method
Yes.
we can call with object reference, null reference, and class name. Okay. So now what we'll do? What is the name of this? This is student. So I will call a student dot m2. Is it valid or not? M2 is a static method. Can we call a static method with class name?
Yes, we can. We can call the static method by class.
Clear. Correct. Okay. Now the another example. Okay. Okay. So now what I will do? Okay. Let me call instance method with class name. So is it valid or not? It is correct or not? So M1 is an instance I am calling with the class name. Any guess? Just it's not like I'm just I started, right? It's not it I know that you guys maybe you knew about that or maybe you are not aware about that. So it's fine. Okay. So
We
can
cannot. Yeah, we cannot call the instance method using the class name.
yes,
We need object.
Yeah,
yes,
we need to create the object before that.
yes. For instance method, we always need our object. Okay. Without object, we cannot call a instance method. Static method we can call in three ways: class name, object, null reference. Okay, we'll see what is null reference and all. Okay. So now I will create another student object. Obj to equal to, we can assign null to reference type, right? So I've assigned null. Okay. So now obj2 dot m1, obj2 dot m2. You guys have to tell me which one is correct, which one is not correct. M2 is a static method, M1 is an instance method.
I think M2 static, you can null reference, as you said, it is correct. M1, since it is an instance method, you cannot do with a null reference. Is it so?
Yes. So always remember, instance method must be invoked with the reference variable which contain object. If it's not containing object, you cannot call it. Okay. So this is invalid. Okay. Now, with already I told you, right? With null reference, you can call static method. Clear to you all? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what we learn now? We learn a basic syntax of method what we call method definition, or we can call it declaration as well. And we also learn about how to call this method. Clear? So which is the correct way to call the method? So if I have to note down the point, what I will note down? The first point is a static method can be invoked in three ways. The first one is with class name, the second with reference variable which contain null, and the third one is reference variable which contain object. This is for static method. What about instance variable? Sorry, what about instance method? The instance method must be invoked with the reference variable which contain object. So total 4 points that you guys have to remember, right? Clear to you all?
Yeah.
You guys have any doubt till now? You can ask me right away, okay? Because I'm going with the next thing, okay? Okay. So we'll practice some of the what we call. Once we'll learn about return type, then we'll type some of the code, okay? And we'll see how to create a methods and all. Anyhow, okay. Okay. So any method that we declare either static or non-static, right? So what it used to do? So it used to perform certain tasks, right? And it will return some value. It might perform the task, it will not return any value. So in both the cases, it is performing certain task. So we are learning about method return type. Sorry. Okay. So now, let us assume the M1, right? That we have. So M1 might have returned here 5.0f. So if let's assume if you are performing any logic, right? Or if you are doing any logic, you should know that what is going to be your return type. If you don't know your return type, then there will be a issue, because let's assume what is it returning? It's returning float. And if you write int here, so what will happen? You will not get a proper result. That is the first thing, right? Okay. So every time when you have whatever value you return, let us assume if you are thinking if you are performing a int a equal to 55, int b equal to 65, and now you know that int c 55 divided by 65, so it may return a floating, right? So you have to mention here, sorry, float in return type, right? So, okay, let me define again. So let assume if you are performing a logic, a user pass a number to a method, and then method check the number is odd or sorry, even or not, or anything like odd or not. So how you like that method? Okay. So you will have, let assume M1. M1 is that method. So it will take a number int a. Okay. So what it will return? If a mod 2 equal to 0. So what it will return? It will return true. Correct? Because else return false. So what you are returning here? False. So what is the return type of your method? Any guess? Any one of you?
Int
Boolean.
Booleans.
You are returning Boolean, right? So your must be Boolean here. And then modifier. Modifier is public. Right now you know only public, so you are using public. In future you know default, public, private. So we learn about that. Protected and all. Okay. Okay. Now let's assume you just want to perform certain operation. Let assume uh, you have write a method called print even numbers. Okay. So this method is not taking any parameter, right? Neither it's returning because it's what is the task? Print even number, right? So I'm just doing for loop int I equal to 1, I is less than 100, I plus plus. If I mod 2 equal to 0, system.out.println even even and plus I, and I close this loop as well as I close this method. So what is the return type of this method? Is this method returning anything?
It is not returning anything.
So if your method don't return anything, what we supposed to give?
Void.
Void. Clear to you all?
Yes, sir.
Clear? Okay. Now, okay. Now while doing practice, we'll see exactly what we supposed to give. What is the colon method? What is the calling method and all? We'll see. And once we'll do with that, we'll also learn about formal argument, actual argument, and then method overloading. So first we'll practice some code and then we'll see. Okay, let me stop sharing. Let me start sharing this. Okay. So my desktop is visible to you all, right?
Yes.
Yeah, your ID is visible.
ID is visual, correct? Okay, let me stop this. Okay, so now we'll learn about, we'll define some method and then we'll see. Okay. Okay. So this is normal. This is one class which is public class which have public static environment. So from main the execution start, up from main execution end. So main return void because main is a starting point of execution, right? And doesn't have to return anything. It just have to perform a specific task, execution task. So that is the reason it's always void. Okay. Now take example here. So I will write a class called, second. I write a class called and a student. Okay. Sorry. Okay, let me create a class called sample. Okay, so I created a sample class. Okay, so this class have variables int a, int b, okay, or int. Let me take a 2 because we are learning about method, so we don't right now we focus on method only. Let me declare a instance variable. So I will declare two instance variable, public void m1, right? Okay. Then one more, public void m2, which take parameter int x. So now I have two m1 and m2. So this is void, this is also void, but this is having one parameter, right? Okay. Let me take another, public static void m3. You remember m3 and 4 is going to be public static void m4. Okay, so now I have this sample, right? So I am creating an object of sample obj equal to new sample, right? So now I have object also. So with this reference, I can call all this method. It's either public or it's either static. Clear to you all? Okay.
Yeah.
You can see that obj dot. I can call m1. I can call obj dot m2. I can pass. It's taking one parameter, so I'm passing one value. Okay. That you guys have to note that obj dot m3. Okay. obj dot m4. So you guys see that with object reference, I can call all the method. Okay, now we'll check with null reference. I will just comment this out. I will pass here null. So with null reference, you can see that right now you are not getting any compilation issue. Okay, so now this m1, right? Let me print. Let me add this so that you come to know that what is happening. m1. Okay, let me run this. What I am getting? Null pointer. Which exception we are getting? Null pointer. Why? In line number 8. Because with null reference, we cannot call instance method. M1 is a instance method. Clear? Okay.
Yeah.
Now we'll do with class name. We'll learn. Can we call instance method with class name? No. It's compile time only will get. No, you cannot call instance method with name. Okay. This part is done. Okay. So already I explained in previous tabs. And now I want to explain you a different thing. Okay. So now let me. So we'll take an example of this method. Int x, right? What it will do? It will simply print. I'm just simply printing. I don't want to do anything. Int x. So I want to execute that method. Obj dot m2, right? Let me call m2. M2. So is m2 returning anything? No, right? Remember this. This line, we call it formal argument. What we call it? Formal argument. What is this? This we call it actual argument. What do we call? Actual argument. Clear to you all? So this is That 4, that value I'm passing, this is called actual argument. Remember, always actual argument have values. Formal argument, whatever value you pass, right, respective to that, you will have data type here, right? So here we have int x. This is called formal. So you can have here z, it's x, whatever you have to use inside that, right? So this is called formal argument. Clear to you all? If someone asks what is actual argument, so when you call a method, so I am calling here. What I'm doing? Calling, right? So this is become caller. Whom I am calling? I am calling M2. So M2 become calling method, right? Who is caller? So here, when you do object.m2, we call it caller. So because why this line is caller? Because I'm calling this method, right? Okay. So now it's not returning anything. That is the reason it's fine. You have void, no issue. So when you run this, it will print 4. Okay. Let's assume you have to perform a certain operation. Okay, we'll take an example of, we'll define one method. Okay, we'll take M1. Okay, and we'll remove, okay, in same we'll do here int. So what it will do? It will take a number and it will return the power of that number. Let us know. If you pass x, if you pass 2, it will return 4. If you pass 3, it will return 9. So what I will do? X into x, right? That I will do. Print also, print is fine. Like you can print also, no issue. So this is returning M2. I want to print that result, right? So how I will do that? So M2 I am passing 2. Let me pass 3, right? I just want to print that one. So what I will do? Int result equal to object.m2, I pass 3. So 3 will come here. It will, here task will get performed 3 into 3 and that will get a return, right? And that return will store in result and you can use it later. You can use it for print, right? Let me do that. It's a 9, right? 3 into 3 is 9, right? Okay. So this result I can use for, let's assume if I want to perform certain operation and all, if you want to use this result for further operation, that also I can do that. Okay. So this method M2 is returning int and we are storing in an integer type. If it's return int, can I have it string here? Can we have it a string here? No, we cannot assign into a string. Clear? Okay. Okay. So till now in method, right? Any doubt you guys have? Anything? So you can ask me. So now 1 minute left. Tomorrow again we'll learn method overloading. We'll practice some more method and then we'll learn method overloading. We'll half an hour we'll do practice coding and all, and then we'll learn method overloading. Any questions? No questions? Then tomorrow we'll connect at same time. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will upload the video
Sure.
for today. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Abhinav.
Thank you.